show where we get to entertain you and also keep you informed. That's right, because we don't want to bore you with plenty of talk without entertaining you. So we just have to spice things up and always infuse that blend of a little bit of entertainment, if you know what I mean. And come on, today is Thursday. For some people, weekends actually starts today. I don't know about you, but for me, weekends actually start on a Thursday because, hey, what's the difference between Thursday and Friday? Absolutely nothing, if you ask me. But Thursdays are for throwbacks. Yes, I'm very sure that across social media platforms, some of you who are actually like so inclined with social media trends, you probably must have seen one or two, is it TBT? Hashtag TBT. That's a throwback Thursday where people get to throw back to pictures of their Surulere days and maybe any song at all, from way back that they actually love to listen to and whatnot. But come on, if you must do a throwback, make sure to share a picture of you. I mean, where you actually, maintained, steeze and composure. Let it be that you've been maintaining steeze and composure, from 19 Beregede, if you know what I mean. All right, guys, I am Omorife Peace Osemere, and I'm going to be riding solo today because, come on, Tuesday, Wednesday, I had to take some time off to rest, and here I am. I am back, I am refreshed, and I'm super excited, knowing especially for the fact that I'm going to be talking to you guys today. All right, so like I love to do every Thursday on the breakfast show, I get to let you know, on some things like just, throwback, because after all, it's actually Throwback Thursday. So we just don't, do throwback with music. We also get to throw back, today in history. I think it's very important for us to, refresh our minds on some of these events. Now, just so you know that, today in history, on this day in 1960, October 17th, specifically 1960, classes actually begun at the University of Nigeria in Nsukka, that's UNN, with an enrollment of 220 students and 13 members of the academic staff. The opening convocation addresses were delivered by the chairman of the Provisional Council, Dr. Nnamdi Azikiwe, the first president of Nigeria, and by Dr. John A. Hanna, president of Michigan State University, USA. Now you begin to wonder, because a lot has changed from October 17th, 1960 till date. How many students do we have, at the University of Nigeria, Nsukka, right there in Enugu State? Hey, the only thing constant in life, they say, is change. So, and also today in history, on this day, 2010, which of course was a Sunday, a Dubai Court of Appeal granted a request from Britain, supported by Nigeria, that the former governor of Delta State, that's James Onanefe Ibori, be extradited to Britain for trial. Right, and I think I'll just leave it there this morning, with regards to Nigeria today in history. That was a throwback, if you ask me, and of course, it was worth it. Just less than a minute, if I'm not mistaken. But it was late, if you ask me. And of course, the morning crusade we are heavy on right here would be to urge you, to charge you, to admonish you to do the right thing as a citizen of our dear country, Nigeria. Being patriotic does not just mean that you get to sing or recite the national anthem, the pledge, and all of that. Doing the right thing, even when no one is watching you, it is very important. By that, I mean saying no to open defecation, urinating indiscriminately, and also dumping refuse indiscriminately. Please say no to it. Let's keep Abuja clean. And this also should rub off on, states across the country, because we're not just, hell bent on keeping Abuja clean. Abuja is not the only city in Nigeria. We have other states that should also be kept clean at all times. And for road users, please say no to overspeeding. Say no to one-way driving. All right, speed actually thrills, right, but it kills. Okay, so please, I would love you to, stay alive, because if you're not out there, I definitely wouldn't be here. I would be jobless, because I can't be here talking to myself. So I need you to stay alive and also to stay safe. More importantly, we know the days ahead actually calls for this high level of prudence. So please, I admonish you, I charge you, in fact, anything at all you can think of, please be prudent with your spending. No need for unnecessary dorime like you all do, or some of you do every weekend. You want to chill with the big boys. please, it's okay to chill with the big boys, but don't chill in a way that you start running kitty kitty kata kata. You don't feel drink without drop cup, if you know what I mean. So please be very prudent, because the days ahead actually calls for prudence. I'm sure it is no longer news to you how much, a price of petrol is being sold for. 1 kg of cooking gas. We only found out on Monday that it's now 1,500 naira. A liter of kerosene is about 1,700 naira. You talk about electricity, what's it called, unit as well. How much are you buying? I don't need to remind you of all these things. I'm sure you're pretty aware of all of these things. With that being said, let me quickly bring you up to speed on 10 things that you need to know for today, Thursday, yes, which is of course the 17th day in the month of October 2024. Number one thing you need to know for today would be that over 120 people who lost their lives in Tuesday's tanker explosion, that was a typo error, in Majia town of Taura local government area of Jigawa state were buried on Wednesday. Now, nearly 100 other persons who were injured during the incident are still in the hospital. An unfortunate incident right there, honestly. It's very, very, very disturbing how lives, get lost like that. It's really sad. May their souls rest in peace. Now, the number two thing you need to know for today would be also that the presidency has said the absence of President Bola Tinubu and Vice President Kashim Shettima will not create any leadership vacuum in the country. Bayo Onanuga, the special advisor to the president on information and strategy, in a statement on Wednesday said physical presence was not necessary to perform their duties. So somehow Bayo Onanuga is literally trying to put to an end the controversy surrounding the absence of the president and of course his vice Kashim Shettima. For those of us that actually are concerned about the long absence of the president, and whether or not his presence could actually make any difference with regards to the progression of events, Bayo Onanuga says his physical presence was not necessary to perform their duties. Now, moving on, the managing director and the chief executive officer of the Nigeria Communications Satellite Limited, Mrs. Jane Egerton Idehe, has said Nigeria is now deploying all its satellite assets against terrorists, bandits, and kidnappers. But this means that the security challenges confronting the country might end soon. Why don't we just share in her optimism? Now, Sergeant Abraham Uzobo, an officer attached to the Edo State Command of the Nigeria Police Force, is presently facing disciplinary action for reportedly raping a minor detained in South Ibie Police Division. The suspect, a 17-year-old girl, was detained for allegedly receiving stolen property. So much is going on at the moment, guys. Well, the Minister of Finance and Coordinating Minister of the Economy, Wale Edun, has said the government acknowledges the pain the current reforms of government have inflicted on Nigerians, while stating that the reforms are necessary for growth and development of the economy. Edun stated this while speaking on a panel session at the ongoing Nigeria Economic Summit on fiscal reforms for a secure future. As always, the government is actually aware of the pains, the current reforms, have actually inflicted on Nigerians. To sum it all up would be the need for Nigerians to exercise a little bit, of patience. Patience, they say, is a virtue, but it looks like people are running out of patience. Moving on, at number 6, Lagos and Delta States government have promised to pay 85,000 naira and 77,500 naira as the minimum wage for their workers. Lagos State Governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu announced the new minimum wage, which is 15,000 naira higher than the 70,000 naira approved by the federal government in July. Well, 3 days before the local government elections in Kaduna State, the State Labour Party chairman Isa Chiroma and the PDP Kafanchan Ward B Jama'a local government councillorship candidate Abdullahi Imra have defected to the APC. Chiroma, who spoke during the flag off of the campaign and presentations of flags to councillorship candidates, said the inclusive system of governance of Senator Ubasani motivated him to join in moving the state forward. The number 8 thing you need to know for today would be that the leader leader of the People's Democratic Party, PDP, in the Southwest and governor of Oyo State, Seyi Makinde, has said the party would continue to protest until the Ondo State Resident Electoral Commissioner, Babalola Oluwatoyin, is removed. The governor spoke in Akure at the flag off of the PDP campaign ahead of next month's governorship election. At number 9, the value of the naira depreciated at the unofficial market on Wednesday as it traded at 1,705 naira per dollar, according to Bureau de Change operators in Lagos and in Abuja. And the last thing you need to know for today would be also that the Minister of Power, Adebayo Adelabu, says there is a need to have power grids in different regions or states to put an end to incessant grid collapses. The minister stated this on Wednesday when he unveiled Hexing, Leveltech, an electricity meter manufacturing company in the Lekki area of Lagos State. Well, this thing that Adebayo Adelabu just said, that there is actually great need to have power grids in different regions or states to put an end to incessant grid collapses, one would say is a step in the right direction only if properly implemented. I think that way you can call them mini grids so that the weight will not be too much on the national grid. But guys, I'll leave it there this morning on 10 things you need to know for the day. So real quick, without wasting much of your time, let's quickly take a look at the national dailies and see what the national dailies are reporting for today. I'd like to start off with the Nigerian Tribune. On the front page of the Nigerian Tribune newspaper, you have Jigawa petrol tanker explosion written in red. Of course, it's a very disturbing, event or development, one would say. And it says over 100 dead, more than 50 in hospital. Now, Tinubu says negligent individuals will be held accountable. And the second writer says Akume leads federal government delegation to Majia town. You get all of that on page 16 of the Nigerian Tribune newspaper. Ekiti Assembly endorses Oyebanji for second term. Details this morning on page 4. Agbakoba writes National Assembly says EFCC is unconstitutionally established. Where are we headed now? That's on page 4. And the food prices may go higher in 2025 if now farmers are actually the ones warning right there that food prices may go higher in 2025. So if prices of food should actually soar higher than they are already, I'm really sure we want to enter the year 2025, or we should just maintain status quo right here in 2024. All right, and I think that's just about it for the Nigerian Tribune. No, that's not about it. We have this ones, just above, the big news story right down the Nigerian Tribune. It says federal government meets NLC, TUC over fuel price hike. That's on page 5. And then it's all fake news. Akpabio debunks impeachment rumor. Others probe. Rumor unacceptable. Adara Modu talking there. And that's on page 3. And now reps want reversal of cost of petrol and also cooking gas. Details on page 4 of the Nigerian Tribune newspaper. I'll leave it there real quick. Now let's take a look at the Guardian. The Guardian newspaper is leading differently this morning with photographs of course, major contenders, if you ask me, during the 2023 presidential, election. You have pictures of the president, Bola Tinubu. You have that of course, representing the All Progressives Congress. You have that of the PDP, Atiku Abubakar. You also have that of the Labour Party, Peter Obi. You have that of NNPP, Kwankwaso, and you also have the photograph of Nyesom Wike, who's the FCT minister. Now it says opposition in disarray as internal crisis batter PDP, Labour Party, and NNPP. All of that on page 6. And just to give you a heads up, that efforts are underway to bring some of these party representatives on board tomorrow. Let's critically analyze the back and forth, the endless address, internal party crisis, and also the role of opposition as to whether or not opposition political parties have actually lost, their steam in Nigerian politics or democracy that we are practicing. But you get all of that on page 6 this morning on the front page of the Guardian newspaper. You still have this one here. It says, revert to old petrol price. Reps tell presidency. Details on page 3. You need consistent policies to attract foreign capital. JP Morgan tells Nigeria. That's actually a business news story, and you find that one on page 23. Senate probes impeachment rumor as presidency declares no leadership vacuum, and that's on page 6. Well, 40 CSOs, that's civil society organizations, seek dismissal of governor's suit against EFCC and NFIU. Details on page 5. Nigeria lost 855,629 metric tons of crops to flooding in 2024, says FAO. All right, details on page 3 of the Guardian newspaper. Perhaps that's the reason why farmers are warning that the prices of foodstuff may actually, spike even higher in 2025 if care is not taken. Now, Rivers lawmakers factions insist INEC must conduct by-election. Details on page 8. And then this one here says, Atio Oando blame host communities for oil theft and pipeline vandalism. That's on page 8 of the Guardian newspaper this morning. That's just about the size of the headlines I will be taking from the Guardian newspaper. Let's check out the Daily Trust and see if the Daily Trust is leading differently. Not completely different, from what we saw on the Nigerian Tribune, because it leads with Jigawa tanker inferno. It says grieving families recount incident as over 120 buried. This comes with 4 riders underneath it. The first one here says, I lost 4 children. The second rider says 5 Almajere, a policeman among victims. And then the third one says NMA urges members to offer help. The last rider says Tinubu governors, speaker, others mourn. Right, all of that on page 4 of the Daily Trust newspaper. A very sad, one right there. Now, Senate investigates alleged plot to impeach Akpabio. Details on page 13, I guess, or page 11 of the Daily Trust newspaper this morning. And then reps to Tinubu transmit 2025 budget to National Assembly without further delay. Details on page 22. That actually, came off, in form of a warning, one would say. But details on page 22 of the Daily Trust newspaper. And then lawmakers demand reversal of petrol price hike. Details on page 2 or 3 of the Daily Trust newspaper this morning. Shetima heads for Sweden as Nigerians await Tinubu's return. All right, details on page 3. And you recall earlier, Bayo Onanuga has come out to tell Nigerians that, come on, the absence of the president and his vice, would not mean that things, would not, work well, or things, policies cannot actually, be implemented, or decisions cannot be, further deliberated, on in their absence. So, come on, don't panic. Of course, they will make a return in no time. But a number of Nigerians are saying that these trips, what impact have they really, what impact do they really have on the Nigerian economy or the Nigerian, country? Let's put it that way. Are these trips, self-serving or in the interest of the general growth and development of our dear nation, Nigeria? This one here says federal government deploys satellites to monitor terrorists and bandits. Details on page 6. Sokoto begins a sale of subsidized rice at 38,700 naira per bag. I thought it was 40,000 naira, but if we have it at 38,700 naira, one would begin to wonder. I hope this rice is not the ones with stones and sand and you name it. But that's on page 7. Lagos announces 85,000 naira minimum wage for workers. That's on page 7 as well of the Daily Trust newspaper. And right there on the front page you have these photographs, that speaks, over 1 million words. And of course it actually speaks to the tanker explosion in Jigawa State. You see one of them here depicted, some of the victims who actually lost their lives being buried, according to Islamic rites. A very sad, situation right there in Jigawa. And of course our hearts are with, the families of, the bereaved. Now, I'll leave it there this morning for the Daily Trust newspaper. Now, let's take a look at the Punch. The Punch newspaper leads with fuel price hike. It says reps warn of unrest as federal government labor meeting deadlocked. All right. A writer underneath it says government plans fresh meeting with union leaders as reps demand petrol price review. All of that on page 2 of the Punch newspaper this morning. Tears as Jigawa buries 153 tanker explosion victims. Trucks burnt in Ogun. That is also on the Punch newspaper this morning. 25% of development levy for student loan. 25% of development levy for student loan. Federal government talking right there, and details you find this morning on page 35. Ogun communities residents relocate as floodwater rises. Details on pages 4 and 5. And you talk about this flood coming to chase people out of their homes. It's really very disturbing. I saw photographs from some areas in Delta State, and some of the residents in the affected communities, they are of the opinion that this is now like a norm or trend for them, and they're used to it. But come on, for the sake of your lives, all right, it's good you relocate as soon as possible. Relocate as soon as possible, all right. And now Naira weakens to 1,705 Naira per dollar at parallel market. That's on page 37 of the Punch newspaper. And then CBN, Security Exchange Commission, sanctioned 10 banks for forex violations. Details on page 36 of the Punch newspaper. NNPC still sold Dangote petrol buyer. Marketers talking there. That's on page 35. And now one would ask if there is any end in sight to the controversy surrounding the NNPCL, Dangote refinery, and even oil marketers. Nigeria's high interest rate will stay for long. This statement is credited to the World Bank, and indeed the reason why one, of course, must be very prudent in terms of spending money, because the World Bank is already saying that the high interest rate will actually stay for long. You get details of our story this morning on page 37, and then the last one I will be taking from the front page of the Punch newspaper says PDP may postpone NEC meeting. Governors plot Damagum's exit. Details on page 2. I'll leave it there this morning for the Punch newspaper. And the last national daily we're going to be taking a look at this morning would be the Nation newspaper. On the front page of the Nation newspaper, of course, it is leading differently from the other national dailies. It says federal government offers 10 billion naira calm loan to facilitate CNG conversion. 3 riders underneath that headline. The first one here says plan captures credit for alternative energy. The second one says 3,000 CNG tricycles begin operation in Lagos. Imo government unveils 5 million cubic feet gas project. Well, details on the front page, and it continues on page 2 of the Nation newspaper. 100 Jigawa tanker explosion victims buried. Tinubu governors, others mourn a horrific tragedy. Details on the front page, and it also continues on page 2. Customs seizes 1.1 billion naira illicit drugs. That's on page 6. And then no leadership vacuum, says presidency. Details on page 4 this morning of the Nation newspaper. And then this one here talking about Ondo 2024. Of course, it says I will deliver more projects, says Ayedatiwa. Makinde wrong calling for Makinde wrong calling for Rex removal. Governor spent 2.4 billion naira on meaningless projects, and then Nolge endorses governor. Senator woos voters. Details on page 5 of the Nation newspaper. Just above, all right, that one, you have this one here which says Labour leaders, federal government meet in continuous engagement. That's on page 4. Minimum wage, that is the kicker. Lagos fixes 85,000 naira. Delta 77,500 naira. That's on page 3. Edo governor-elect raises the alarm over looting of government funds and assets. Details on page 3. And then oil magnate sues EFCC for unlawfully declaring him wanted. Details this morning on page 6. And that's just about the size of headlines I will be taking across the national dailies this morning. And there you have it, dear listener. So far, we've reviewed stories from the Nation newspaper, the Punch, the Daily Trust newspaper, the Guardian, and also the Nigerian Tribune newspaper. This is where we get to open the studio lines for you to call in, to share your thoughts and tell us just what you make of, these headlines for today. But as always, we urge you to stay civil and avoid the use of vulgar or obscene language. Do your best as well to maintain at least 2 minutes or less. That way we can accommodate diverse, views on the pages segment or newspaper review segment, if you like. Right, the numbers to call this morning would be 09087668888 or 09073530044. You can send a voice note or a message to the WhatsApp portal on 09097054450. Let's take this call. Good morning to you.
Good morning.
Good morning. Thanks for calling.
How are you?
Very well, thank you. Your name and location.
My name is GB.
All right.
I'm calling from.
You're calling from where?
I'm calling from Airport Road.
All right, please go ahead.
Yes. But the rice, if they sell it for 30,000 naira plus, it's a good thing. What we want is that let the common man, the people that really need it, get it, and let them not go and hold it. Because we have a situation where some government officials will carry this rice, go and rebag it and be selling at a higher price. So the police, the DSS should be on the lookout for such things.
All right.
And people have been buying it. I've not seen anyone that say it has stone or something. It's a good parboiled rice.
All right.
And I'm wondering if government can sell as low as 40,000. Why are the people in the market selling as 100 or over 120,000? It means that there's something wrong somewhere among Nigerians who are the marketers. To me, I see them that using the opportunity to exploit us. I know the guys that the petrol price have been increased. And the guy was the petrol tanker burned about 100 died. This is avoidable. The tanker falling down is a tragedy, but it should have been prevented if the leaders and community.
All right, GB, I'd please like you to wrap up your thoughts.
It's not the falling down that caused the fire. People are stopping for fuel from the tanker, and in such an area, anything that any metal that hit one another can generate heat, and because of the petrol, it catches fire.
All right.
So what I'm saying is that this thing can be prevented or minimized if the community leader have stepped into it and prevent people from going near those places.
Right.
But the poverty level in Nigeria, we were encouraged, even some people were encouraged that they go and stop a fuel, and they can get like some money from it if they sell the fuel. This is an avoidable tragedy to us. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, GB, for calling this morning. I'll just, pause the calls right there because we've got some bills to pay. But you can be rest assured that when we return, the studio lines will still be open for you to call in to share your thoughts. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.
Eagles 102.3 Abuja. Make una listen to this ogbonge message from the FCT Public Health Department and Malaria Consortium.
Seasonal malaria chemo prevention campaign don start again for Abuja.
The campaign go involve sharing of medicine where they prevent malaria from children where they between 3 months reach 5 years old.
The name of the medicine na Spark.
These people where they distribute the medicine go come on our house once a month from June go reach October every year.
The community drug distributors go teach mama, papa or anybody where they take care of children how to give the first dose of Spark to children who don't reach to take the medicine. For every pikin wey dem give Spark, dem go also give am SMC record card wey dem go use to dey record the medicine wey pikin don take. Make you know say Spark no be medicine wey dey treat malaria. Make you no give am to pikin wey no well.
Remember say every family member, especially children and women wey get belle, suppose dey sleep inside long-lasting insecticide treated net every time so that dem go fit protect themselves from malaria.
This message na from the FCT Public Health Department and Malaria Consortium.
Looking for a professional event planner in Abuja and its environs, but don't know how to go about it? Eagles FM got you covered. Call us today and let's help you fix that event that will leave you with evergreen memories. Call 081 57 91 7278. I take it again, 081 57 91 7278. Thank you.
You are healed right now.
Your miracle is here. Just believe and receive. Breaking news. The healing streams are flowing again, and your testimony is next as we anticipate the Healing Streams live healing services with Pastor Chris, holding from
Friday, October 25th to Sunday, October 27th, 2024, 2 p.m. daily.
Register now and view the program at
www.healingstream.tv/zone/ABMC.
You can also participate live at Christ Embassy Durumi near American International School or at the nearest Christ Embassy Church to you. Also at any of our designated healing centers all around town. Also airing live here in Abuja on Eagles 102.3 FMs. Call or text
070-7125-2233. 070-7125-2233. Friday, October 25th to Sunday, October 27th, 2024. You can also watch it live on Eagles FM Abuja YouTube and Facebook page, 2 p.m. daily.
Your set time for a miracle. Don't miss it.
Eagles 102.3 Abuja.
Get the desired clients for your business and service and get your phones buzzing. From the 1st of September to the 31st of December, you can advertise and reach a large audience with the Eagles FM Ember Months package. Advertise on any of our platforms and get a whopping 30% discount. That's right, 30% discount. For more information, please call 080-5919-8658. 080-5919-8658 or 081-5791-7278. 081-5791-7278. The Eagles FM 102.3 FM Ember package is a sure way to getting a wider clientele for your business and service.
No offense to the commercials. It's just that we want to see other audio.
Eagles 102.3.
Right, and we are back. Thank you so much for staying with us. This is Eagles FM 102.3 Abuja, your radio experience you can count on. And of course, we are looking at the blazing headlines for today. The studio lines are still buzzing, and you can be part of the conversation by calling 090-8766-8888 or 090-7353-0044. You can send a voice note or a message to the WhatsApp portal on 090-9705-4450. Remember to keep your thoughts, very, short and simple. That way we get to accommodate diverse views. And also, the earlier you send your voice notes, the better. Hello, good morning to you. Hello. Hello, good morning. Are you there? All right, do well to call back. Let's see if we can take. All right, please do well to call back. Good morning to you.
Thank you, Princess. Good morning.
Good morning. Good to have you. What's your name and where you're calling from?
Thank you. It's Obasanjo calling you from Amali, Niger State.
I hope we won't fight today, Obasanjo.
We're not been fighting. It's just the reality of on ground that the newspaper that you read, I read on the newspaper.
All right,
if
please,
the newspaper will not be okay, so talked about them. Let me ask this question. Just simple questions that we usually want to ask every day. My sister, have you ever entered a car that the blind person is leading? It's riding the car.
Not at all.
Not at all. Neither the conductor. If the conductor will be blind and the driver will be blind, what do you know? We will crash in the sea or in fire, flames, like the way Nigerians has been so crashed. Nigerians have been so crashed. If people, human beings died as if we are in a war. There's no regulations. If people would die more than one or more than 200 would die in a day, my sister, there is question mark now. In other developed countries, if one person died, the president will resign. Really? But in your country, a lot of people have been dying in 1 month. They will calculate it, about 6,000 people die in a month. Jesus, where on earth such things happen? It's only in Nigeria. Why? Because we are blind people. We are blind people. The blind driver and the conductor and the blind people, the followers are blind. The judiciaries are blind.
But let me ask you, Obasanjo, are you blind as we speak?
Me?
Yes.
I'm blind.
No, you're not.
Why? Because
you're not
blind.
Why? If you're blind, you definitely won't call in this morning to lend your voice to some of these issues.
Maybe I can just listen to you. Why? Because I'm not deaf, but I'm blind. Why? Because some of the questions, if I ask you over there, you said, no, this is not what I'm supposed to say. Why? Because the two of us are blind. You are the author, I am the representative. Both of us are what? Are blind. Why? Because the truth remains the truth. So both of us are blind. Why? Because we cannot find the justice of the country. Neither the security, neither the judgment, neither the whatever. The parastatals everywhere, it's quagmire.
Well, we understand that, the presidents and governors and even Nigerians at large, they are indeed, mourning this sad incident, that occurred in Jigawa State. The president has also condemned in strong terms this, unfortunate incident, and also investigation is ongoing.
My sister, what is that? What is that?
Of this,
what is that condemn? What is that condemn? That you only talk about condemn while the president is out of the country, the vice president is out of the country. These are the immediately things that these people will go. Let some people take the leadership of the country. It's that on serious government that we ask. Thank you.
Let's leave it here for now, Obasanjo. Thank you so much for calling. But again, we must learn to keep our emotions in check. It's really very disturbing, the progression of events, right? Hello, good morning to you.
Hello, good morning, Omoefe.
Good morning. Thanks for calling. What's your name?
My name is Salati. I'm calling from Garki. I greet Obasanjo from Amali. I greet the listeners and callers. GB mention of rice. People are buying the rice. Where are they selling the rice? Precisely.
Well,
if the government can crash the price. Pardon?
Yes, the one we talked about earlier, it has to do with Sokoto State, where it is being sold for about 38,000 naira.
Okay, in Sokoto State.
Right.
They should do it to the whole federation. They should make sure that they crash the whole practice of all these things. You go to the supermarket, now how much is the bag of rice? That is the challenges. People can't have access to all these things. They talk of federal government selling rice in Abuja and so on and so forth. I've never seen any other place in Abuja here. And they say it's only civil servant. And for the civil servant, you have to provide your name, you have to do this, you have to do this. I couldn't even see any, I've never heard anybody say he has gotten that right. They make a lot of problems. These people will just come, just like what Obasanjo Sunday says, when the blind are leading, the followers don't have to be blind. If they make a lot of promises, they come, they say something is gone, they say they are going to be CNG vehicle. Where are the CNG vehicles? They say all these things. They make promises and make a lot of promises without fulfilling any promises. And we keep listening to the World Bank. Is the world why can World Bank advise India? The man, the chairman of the World Bank has been saying, why can't they do that to Saudi Arabia? Why can't they do that to Qatar? United Arab Emirates. It's only Nigeria because we always go there to borrow and borrow and borrow. Now look at what is happening. Look at the tanker explosion. See how people got burned. Because people are there to scoop. And because of, before you know, a lot of lives have been lost. We pray, may Almighty God repose their soul. May the family, may Almighty grant the family the fortitude to bear the rest. Right, I greet Elder Onoja and the listeners and callers of this great radio station. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Salasi. Indeed, may their souls rest in peace. Hello, good morning to you.
Good morning, my sister.
Good morning. Good to have you. What's your name and where you're calling
from? Onoja is my name. I'm calling from Cuba in Abuja.
All right. Please go ahead.
I greet my good friend Salasi Otanya and Abdulwasa. And then I'm not blind though.
Thank you very much. I mean, I was about to say earlier that I reject that in the name of
yes, I'm not blind.
In the tongue, right?
Obasanjo, cool down now. Nigeria is for us, so we have to drive small.
That's right.
You see, we are not blind. We have liars, the political liars. 95% of the politicians in Nigeria, they are liars. That's the problem they have.
Is that a fair judgment?
Hello?
I said, is that a fair judgment or assessment when you say that?
Yes, assess it because you CMG boss. Let me give you an example. CMG boss. My president tell me say within 2 weeks we are going to see it in the street. So write it there, go live there. Up to now, I never see any CMG move in Abuja here. They say they don't launch it, they don't do this and this. My sister, do you see any CMG boss move? Give me Obama, it's not moving now. You say the children politician have, the administration have. I'm not a politician, I don't want to talk about our politics too much. There is short time planning and then long planning. The government go and take long planning without making short plan. Any government in the world, if it is policy rolling out, it has to make short time. When this man removed a subsidy, we told them, those boys calling on radio say, when he bring economic thing, we tell him say, these people they can't perform. But people came out there, they have performed in Lagos, they have performed this and they are going to do it best. First now, Naira is 1,700 Naira in the market. 1,700 Naira to $1 in the market. How much it did during Buhari? We criticize the decision of Buhari. How much it did during Goodluck? $1 is how many Naira now? How did you manage the economy for that type of system? You say you have removed the tax import food. You go and buy food in dollar and bring it to Nigeria here and sell it in Naira. How the price of food will come down? They say they are clear eyes. My sister, I went somebody to call on this radio. All you presenters tell us, you didn't see anybody buy the rice 40,000 Naira. It's not there. Civil servants, they are not selling today, they are just telling lies because they are not allowed to speak. Somebody will call say you ever buy rice 40,000. All the policies when they are bringing, say they are bringing. My sister tell me whether you ever collect anyone. Right. Somebody will call whether I ever collect police. 95% of politicians they are liars.
All right, because of time.
And we are not blind, but we don't have anything to do. Thank you very much. God bless Nigeria. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Elder Onoja. Please, let's try our best, to maintain at least 2 minutes or less. That way we get to accommodate, other views on the show this morning. Good morning to you.
Hello, good morning, MSC.
Good morning. Thanks for calling.
My name is Abdul, calling from Suleja, Niger State.
All right.
I want to send my condolences to those people that died in Jigawa. If you look into it, this is poverty. Nigerian people are suffering. That's why they go there to scope this oil. You see, if they are not suffering, if the oil is not caught in the market, when they go there and scope the oil, so may God grant them internal. I don't know how to say it. May they rest in peace. In fact, I'm really angry since yesterday when I had this thing on the news. I was angry. I'm not happy about it at all at all. God bless Nigeria. God bless Eagle FM. Bye. Amazing.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Good morning to you. All right. Please do want to call back. The numbers are 09087668888 or 09073530044. Call us on any of these numbers and let's, of course, hear from you what your thoughts are this morning. You can send a voice note or a message to the WhatsApp portal on 0909705450. I'll take one more call and, of course, exhaust the voice calls that we have or voice notes that we have right here. Good morning to you.
Good morning.
Yes, thanks for calling. What's your name and where you're calling from?
My name is Mr. John. I'm calling you from Kaduna Road, man.
Mr. John from Kaduna Road. Please go ahead.
Yeah, it's just like our elders say. You know, we are not blind, but in one way or the other, our leaders are not trying. Are you hearing me?
Right. Yes, please go ahead.
I agree with Elder Onoja for what he said. Our leaders are liars. Are you hearing me?
Yes, please.
Our leaders are liars because that's why the masses of Nigeria now, we doesn't believe on them. All the whole thing they tell us, no one is being implemented. No anyone. For fuel, for everything, no one is implemented. I understand?
Yes, please go ahead.
And if we doesn't stand up, we will continue going this way. Because poverty are eating the masses of Nigeria. Time we will go now, you go see person where we are, but you go see people go to follow and you go to run. You go happen for Nigeria now. You go see big man they run, poor man go to follow. They will just want to kill her. Because you know, say if that man die, problem don't solve.
Well, may that day never.
Oh God!
May that day never.
I'm telling you the truth. It will happen in Nigeria now. All these our big man, they go they run with their leg. You go see, you go happen by eye now. Bye bye, man.
Thanks for calling, but to say that someone will be running with Agbada and then a poor man is chasing after him and probably after killing him, his or our problems would have been solved. Well, one really can't make sense of that, all right, if you ask me. Well, at this juncture, I'll just put your calls on hold and exhaust the voice notes that we have on here. We have a number of them. Please do not call the WhatsApp number. Do not call the WhatsApp number. Just send a voice note to the WhatsApp line. And your voice notes, please try as much as possible to make it 1 minute 30 seconds because of time.
And listeners on this platform, my name is Eric from Kuje. I want to comment on the unfortunate incident that happened at Jigawa State yesterday. It was quite an avoidable one. May God grant the departed soul rest and comfort their loved ones. The tragic incident is quite unfortunate, and like I said, it's quite avoidable. I tag it as greed. I won't say it's poverty. Yes, there's poverty in the land, but that does not mean people should no longer have value even for their own lives. Over 120, Charles even said over 140 people died. This is a disaster that is quite avoidable. Why would people go scoop fuel from a falling tanker? They want to reap from where they have no sun. That's someone's business. So some people say it's poverty. No, poverty does not take away our common sense. Have you ever seen a madman going to hug a transformer? Have you ever seen a madman see a truck coming, even in the state of insanity, still want to go ahead and stay in front of that coming truck? No, I've not seen it before. So these people don't have values for their lives. It's quite unfortunate they died in that avoidable manner. Like I said, I just hope we can get this better, and maybe going forward the NOA can always sensitize people more on the danger of these things, which I believe some people know. Thank you, and have a wonderful.
Thank you very much for that voice note. And although your thoughts might actually come off as offensive to some quarters, but again, should poverty be the yardstick for you to lose your life? Hello, good morning. Hello. All right, I'll just go right ahead, and take some of the messages that we have. This one here says, good morning, Lady Omoefe. Welcome back on board. Much ado about nothing for the purported impeachment threat against Godswill Akpabio. If at all such threat is real, is it not better for it to, go full circle? Has Akpabio's leadership in the Senate benefited ordinary Nigerians? In a nutshell, the leadership of National Assembly is an extension of the executive arm of the government in power and should be done away with for progress in the nation. In addition, may the souls of the downtrodden that perished in Jigawa State petrol tanker blaze rest in peace. Amen. Comrade Ulobasi from Buhari Abuja, thanks for that message. And then this one here says, good morning, the presenter. Right from 2015 till date, APC policy is anti-people's policies. Their promises always opposite. Henry Oga from Suleja there. And then this one here says, good morning, I am not a civil servant. In 2015, I bought rice at the rate of 9,000 naira. In 2015 to 2020, I bought it at the rate of 20,000 naira and 38,000 naira. But in 2024, I am a civil servant. I provided my NIN, a birth certificate, and marriage certificate before I can buy it at the rate of 40,000 naira, or else I will buy it at the rate of 100,000 naira. Good riddance of bad rubbish. But do you really have to present your marriage certificate before you can access the rice? Chinonso from Suleja, your opinion though. Now this one here says, good morning, this is Mr. Uche from Central Area. That the price of rice is cheap in some states doesn't mean anything, and any person blaming sellers for the high prices of food is just being mischievous. The Naira continues its downward slide as if there is no remedy, and the people continue to suffer its impact. Until the price of PMS is reduced, nothing will ever improve in Nigeria. All right. And this one here says, good morning, FA for short. This is James from Suleja. It is now clear the terrorism charges on the NLC boss and raid on the NLC office was strategic. Isn't it strange? But up until now, the same NLC who threatened fire and brimstone over petrol price increases while negotiating a new minimum wage have gone numb despite multiple increases after then. It is clear the NLC is now fully in the pocket of the government. They don't need to pretend to be negotiating. The government making noise about satellite deployment need to stop making noise as actions speak louder than words. Drone technology is common and basic, and yet they are still struggling with that. People need to make informed statements rather than wipe up baseless assertions. The government is selling their rice at a subsidized rate and are the only ones who can do that. You cannot process rice and sell for less than 85,000 naira as we speak, considering the price of rice paddy and cost of processing. Let me ask him, are Nigerians hoarding the dollar still responsible for the free fall of the naira? Are Nigerians still trying to blackmail the government with the subsidy revelation? They sell the narrative that the masses are responsible for everything wrong with the nation while ignoring the clear and obvious failure of their paymasters. All right, James from Suleja, thanks for that message. And then this one here says, good morning to you, Moife. Congratulations and welcome to another day. My sincere and heartfelt condolences to the families of a tanker fire incident in Jigawa. Our present-day leaders have taken the Nigerians for a ride, and that is why the president and his vice will travel out of the country for the reasons only known to two of them. Where flood is ravaging the people they are meant to govern, people dying in hundreds in Jigawa, and the leaders are nowhere around the country. This have shown that the cabals are the ones in charge of the affairs of the country. Kai, how on earth did we get here? Who are these people doing this to us in this country? Where did they come from? Are they Nigerians? May God make it easy for us in this country. In Jesus' name, have a great day, Omoefe. Thanks for that message. Well, I do not think you didn't even state your name, right? You didn't state your name, but please take note and make sure to state your name. I guess this is from Samuel from Kuje, but please, going forward, do well to state your name and location. It's very, very important. All right, I have a voice note here that is over 1 minute 30 seconds. I'm afraid I will just have to skip that one. Let's take a listen to this one. All right.
Good morning, Efe.
Good morning. I greet the listeners and callers of our radio station. This is Alamin from Apo Legislative Quarters. For the record, disclaimer, me and my family members, we are not blind. Maybe Obasanjo is referring to his own family members and himself as the blind followers, but definitely, I'm not a blind Nigerian. My family members are not blind Nigerians, so he should please and appeal to him to personalize his blindness to himself and his family. Thank you so much. Having said that, on the tragedy that claimed over 100 lives and 50 still in the hospital in critical condition in Jigawa tanker explosion, it's unfortunate, it's avoidable. Those are one of the greeds and wickedness of Nigerians to one another, sabotaging another person's business. When the tanker fell off, they decided to go there and steal the contents. The deaths are avoidable. There are a lot of innocent people among them. I mean, those that were just innocently sitting down around, and when it exploded, it affected them. May God console them. May God, heal those that are wounded. But again, it calls for a deeper reflection, that we shouldn't be too greedy and wicked, hiding it under hardship. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much for that message.
Good morning, Omoife. I celebrate you. I celebrate Nigeria. Thank you for always being there for us. Well, I want to comment on the tanker explosion. It is a signal and it is a sign. And what does that mean for us as a nation? Well, on the issue of rice and the promises federal government has been making, none has been fulfilled, but we are waiting. Well, on the issue of what Obasanjo is saying, another thing, well, he may not be a bit far from the truth, but let us know that it is we, the citizen now, that will hold our government accountable, since we don't have a very serious opposition party for now. Nigeria will get it right very soon. We are gradually pushing ourselves there by the special grace of God. Good morning, Nigeria. Good morning, Eagle FM.
Thank you very much, Triple D, for that voice note. And of course, this is where we get to, call it a day. Yes, thank you so much for sharing your thoughts. Thanks for calling in. Thanks for the voice notes and also the messages. But as always, a disclaimer that the views expressed by the callers and those who sent in voice notes or messages were not influenced by Eagles FM 102.3 Abuja. That's it for the Pages segment. And I am Omoife Peace Osemere. Coming up would be sports with Vicky Vic, and I'm sure that he's geared up to bring you up to speed with the latest happenings in the world of sports. And hey, I'll be back, at 9 a.m. this morning to discuss, of course, an issue that actually concerns you and, of course, myself. It has to do with the health of our children. Of course, children, they say, are, good gifts, from God, but how disturbing is it and how much of a concern is it to know that these children die, from malaria daily, when of course it can be prevented? We're going to be having this conversation with, those who should know. So please, I urge you to please stay tuned and of course do well to call in at that time to also lend your voice. And at this juncture, you can easily or quickly alert a nursing mother, a mother or a father or a caregiver, anyone you like, to please stay tuned, because this conversation actually is for every one of us. Thank you so much for listening, and don't touch the dial.
Wake up with the morning show.